The potential for the smut in this book sounds amazing. Unless she falls prey to the darkness. Girl, fall prey to the darkness. That's what we all want to read about. I love a good reverse harem series. And this one sounds pretty dark. Hello, my gorgeous reading angel bestie queens. I hope that you're having the best day of your entire stinking life. Welcome to my channel. My name's Tori if you're new. I'm so excited. I know I say that every video, but like I actually am. Today we're gonna talk through my top 10 high priority fantasy romance books that are on my TBR that I will absolutely be prioritizing in the coming months. There's a big range. We have some cozy fantasy romance, we have some spicy fantasy romance, we have some witchy fantasy romance, some vampire fantasy romance. A lot of these are indie authors, I think most of them, and then also most of them you can find on Kindle Unlimited as well. So I hope that you're excited. If you are, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I have an announcement at the end of this video. So hold tight for that. We're gonna start with the cozy fantasy romances that I can't wait to read. So the first one being The House Witch by Delimhach. I have no idea if I said that correctly. I probably didn't, so don't come for me. This sounds the coziest of the cozy. It is about a house witch whose specialty is food magic. I think cozy, low stakes romantasy vibes. Our main character is Finley Ashwin. He joins the staff of the king and queen of Dexaria. He's an enigma. No one knows where he comes from, how he came to be where he is, which Finn doesn't really care about. He's just like, this is me, this is what's happening. This is real, this is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. He's keeping nosy people out of his kitchen, and he's serving up delicious meals. I feel that reading this book is going to make me very hungry, so warning, have snacks on hand. But Finn's secret identity doesn't stay safe for very long. Oh my gosh, and he has a kitten familiar named Kraken. I'm so dead. As his powers are gradually discovered by the court, Finn finds himself involved in a new slew of intrigues, going head to head with knights with less than chivalrous intentions, helping to protect the pregnant queen, fending off the ire of the royal mage, and uncovering a spy in the castle. That is only the beginning, because Vin's past is catching up with him just as his love life is getting complicated. The second cozy, and I think the last cozy that I have, is called Keeper of Enchanted Rooms, and this is by Charlie N. Holmberg. Our main character is Merritt Fernsby, and this takes place in Rhode Island in 1846. He's estranged from his family, he's a writer, and he's very surprised to find out that he inherited this remote estate in Narragansett Bay. Though the property has been uninhabited for more than a century, he's like, we're going, this is happening. But all the doors slam shut, they won't let him leave. It sounds a little bit haunty, it sounds a little bit spooky scary, and he's like, I need to ring in some help. Enter Hulda Larkin of the Boston Institute for the Keeping of Enchanted Rooms, and she's been trained for this exact purpose. We're gonna get this house, this estate, to behave. She will tame the structure in order to preserve the historical and magical significance. She understands the dangers of bespelled homes. Given to take tantrums, she advises it's in Merritt's best interest to make Wimbrel House their ally, and to do that, she'll need to move in too. Together, they find out the secrets of the house, they get to know each other. It sounds like Merritt is a little bit of a grump, and who knows what our little girly pop is gonna be like, but this also just sounds so cute, so amazing. I love books with enchanted homes. If you know me, you know I love Margaret Rogerson, and it's giving Mysteries of Thorn Manor, but this is a full-length novel. And also, I just started reading Divine Rivals, and this also has enchanted buildings that do interesting things, and I just think it adds a level of whimsy to books that is unmatched. Now I'm gonna move into some new adult books. So we are moving out of the cozy side of things, and we're gonna move into some spicy fantasy romance. Okay, the tagline for this next book is steamy, enemies to lovers, dark fantasy romance. No broomsticks or cauldrons here, only the magic of the darkest kind and dimples to swoon over. Yes, The Cursed and the Broken by Chloe Hodge. This book is going to be a battle between witches and demons. So the history of this world, years ago there was a dark queen. I'm assuming that she was over the demons, and she was executed along with all of her cultists by the witches. Their black magic was buried and put to rest. Kitarni is our main character's name, our heroine, Kitarni. Corruption is starting to spread again. There's rumors of cultists, and Kitarni has to branch out beyond her small witchy village and, sounds like, save her people. Betrothed to the heir of the Wolfblood clan, she risks not only her life, but her heart. United, they must stand against the cultists or watch the kingdom of Hungary fall. Cursed by death and controlled by fate, Kitarni is forced to meet her demons or die by them. A story of succumbing to wicked desires, death, and the temptations of a deliciously dangerous love. Then we have Court of Blood and Bindings by Lisette Marshall. Our hero, if you want to call him that, in this book is called Silent Death. He kills without sound and leaves none capable of speaking in his wake. Our heroine in this book gets caught by Silent Death doing unspeakable magic she's not supposed to be doing, forbidden, if you will. 20-year-old Emmeline thinks she's about to be killed by Silent Death. He spares her life, but carries her off on his velvet wings into the one place from which no human ever returns. The Crimson Court, where the mother of Fae kind has ruled unchallenged over Fae and humans for decades. The Silent Death is supposed to be Mother's loyal servant, her invincible warrior, her ruthless and soulless killer. But in the shadows, he is playing a game of his own, and he needs Emmeline's magic to win it. If she agrees to work with him, could she free all of humanity? When his smoldering, dark eyes and dangerous secrets reveal glimpses of the heart behind his murderer's mask, can she trust herself? The potential for the smut in this book sounds amazing. Amazing. Okay, and then talking about smut and spice and all things we love in fantasy romance, this next book is probably going to be the darkest, and I'm assuming the spiciest on this list, and that is Our Sins in Blood by Aidan Pierce. I say that because I've read one other book now by Aidan Pierce, which was called Burn for Jack, and that was a dark fantasy romance novella slash horror, honestly. It got pretty dark, about a pumpkin jack-o'-lantern scarecrow, and I'll just let your imagination take it from there. But spice was impeccable. It was a novella. I really loved it. I wanted to read more of a full-length novel from Aidan Pierce after I read that book. I did include it in my summerween vlog as well. If you want to see my reactions to it, I'll leave it linked in the description box below. So this is called the Covens of Sin series. This is the first book. It's kind of long, it's like 600 pages, but this is a vampire, paranormal romance, dark romance, reverse harem. I love a good reverse harem series. And this one sounds pretty dark. Ever since she was little, has been a prisoner. They told her that she's sickly and she can't go outside because she just will not survive. She will literally perish. But the truth comes out when I'm kidnapped by 4 dark, sinfully gorgeous vampire princes. That's where I stopped. I was like, okay, I want to read. Turns out I am the biological daughter of their maker, the vampire king. I am the heir to the throne, me, the girl who hasn't danced in the rain or gone to prom or even been kissed, but I can only take up the role on one condition. I have to choose one of the princes to be my mate and king. The problem, all 4 are vying for the throne, and it's hard to say who wants me for my blood, my body, my love, or my birthright. Yes. Also, this would be a great book for the Vampathon, readathon. Next is Heavenly Bodies by Imani Eru. I'm so sorry if I didn't say that correctly. I really am. I've started seeing this book popping up everywhere, so this is one that you've probably seen before. It's giving celestial fantasy romance, and it talks about our hero as a star, and I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know if he is like a godlike being or a celestial like being, but our main character's name is Alara. She receives a prophecy that promises she will fall for a star and it will kill them both. We love a fated love moment. But a star descends on Alara's kingdom. She's forced to flee her country into another country in the arms of her enemy. As she learns more about her own magic, the depth of the star's deceit, she also finds herself learning more about the country she's forced to take refuge in and the enemy prince that's forced to train her to become a weapon. Something dark brews within her, and we think that she has the power of like shadows, power of night, which I think we all love that at this point in fantasy romance. I think the synopsis is a little confusing on this one because it's just unclear what these stars are, but it sounds good. So she's a priority. Next one I actually did order a copy of. It's called Frost by C.N. Crawford. You can find this on Kindle Unlimited. It just sounded so good, and for Amazon Prime Day, I was like, yes, I'm ordering Frost. Our heroine in this book is kind of falling on hard times. She comes home one day and finds her boyfriend cheating on her. Literally, he's in bed with another woman, so scumbag, we hate that for her. Within hours, she's drunk, she's homeless, her life kind of gets flipped on its head, and she's pledging to stay single forever. In this society, the Seelie King comes through and he is on the search for a bride. It says that the king rolls through town looking for fae like me. Every generation, the king holds a competition for a Seelie queen, but for reasons he won't explain, Torin is looking for a charade and not a real marriage. So fake dating. When I drunkenly sling insults his way, I have his attention. When Torin offers me 50 million to participate, I think, what have I got to lose? The answer turns out to be my life, because the competition will literally kill for the crown. The more time that she spends with this seductive Seelie King, the more difficult it is for her to remember they're fake dating. This sounds like an interesting mix between almost like a contemporary romance plot setup with fake dating, with arranged marriage, with like a dating game, but make it fantasy romance and make it fae. So we'll see how it goes. The last three, and two of these three have vampires in them as well. We're just in like a vampire and witch mostly mood for this TBR. Kingdom of Blood and Salt by Alexis Calder. This book has a lot of different paranormal or like supernatural beings in it. I believe it has werewolves, vampires, and fae. It describes it as an epic enemies to lovers romance, but this book is only 330 pages. So I don't know how epic it can really be, but it is a series, obviously. So I just saw epic and I looked at the page count and I was like, that's not a lot of time. That's not a lot of pages for it to be epic. Our main character has been training her whole life. She is a baddie queen, it sounds like. She needs to defend Athos, which is the last human city in this world. The treaty with the Fae keeps the Fae, the vampires, and the wolf shifters at bay while we fight against the dragons at our border. Okay, so a lot is going on in this book. A delegate from the Fae King's realm comes to take the human sacrifices, claim the human tributes required by our treaty. She never expects to forge a connection with their leader. His name is Riven. Riven is dangerous. He's her enemy, but she can't help to find him resistible, as we always do. But things are changing in Athos. Humans no longer want to bend to the Fae King. Alliances blur, and centuries of lies begin to unravel, and I'm faced with a choice. No matter how much I hate him, Riven might be the key to preventing war. This is the first book in a planned trilogy, and it also says this is new adult/adult fantasy romance, and the steam level will increase as the series progresses. Mind the cliff. The last vampire romance on this list is The Scarlet Veil by Shelby Maherin. This is the same author as Serpent and Dove. I am not gonna lie to you, I DNF'd Serpent and Dove on the first book when I was like 25% into it. It was not for me, but make it vampires and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this has the most vague synopsis I've probably ever read. Our heroine has been training to become part of the ranks of the chasseurs, the chassiers? Chasseurs. Chaucer. Should I know that word? I've never heard that word before. A hunter or a huntsman, one of a body of light cavalry or infantry trained for rapid maneuvering. Okay, ma'am. She's joined these chasseurs as their first huntswoman, and her fiance is the captain. She's determined to find her foothold, make her way in the world, and she needs to help protect Belterra, but whispers of her past still haunt her, and a new evil is rising that our heroine herself must vanquish unless she falls prey to the darkness. Girl, fall prey to the darkness. That's what we all want to read about. And then the last book on this list that I'm sure y'all have heard of, because this is another one that's gaining a lot of popularity, is called To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, and that is by Sarah A. Parker. We are going to be reading this for my bestie Hannah Blackwell's book club in August. If you want to read along with us, we're going to be reading this one. I will leave the information. I think she made a whole announcement video for it linked in the description box below. This is new adult, so it's going to be spicy, and it's a Rapunzel retelling? Yes. Or reimagining. So our main character has been locked away. I was plucked from the heart of a bloody massacre that spared no one else. Small, fragile, an enigma, now ward to a powerful high master who knows too much and says too little. I lead a simple life, never straying too far from the imaginary line I've drawn around the castle grounds. Stay within, never leave. Out there, the monsters lurk. Inside I'm safe, though at a cost far greater than the blood I drip into a goblet daily. It sounds like this magical person that's keeping her captive, he saved her, but he's also slowly killing her. When voracious beasts spill across the land and threaten kind of life as she knows it, some really ugly truths are revealed. But in a castle puddled with secrets, none are greater than the one I've kept from myself. No tower is tall enough to protect me from the horror that tore my life to shreds. Sounds so dramatic in all the best ways. And if the writing is anything like that synopsis, that sounds beautiful. Absolutely yes. Now I have another thing for you to look forward to in August. So the weekend of the 25th to the 27th, we are doing a romantasy readathon, 48-hour readathon. We all will get to read whatever we want together. There's not going to be a group book or anything. It's not going to be very formal, but we're going to read stunning fantasy romance for 48 hours together, and I'm going to be joined by the wonderful Katie from Katie's Book Nook. She's going to be co-hosting this 48-hour readathon with me. We are going to be doing reading sprints. We are going to be talking and screaming about fantasy romance books. I hope that you're excited. I'm going to post more information about it on the romantasy-a-thon Instagram, so I will leave that linked in the description box below. Let me know if you've heard of any of these books, if you've read any of them. I'll catch you in the comments, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!